Mace for the Medical Sales Channel. How good are you at tooting your own horn? Now, you probably heard that it's not very nice, it's not very humble to toot your own horn, to talk about yourself, to brag about your accomplishments or what you've done, what you have, and that's probably true. But if you're in medical sales, here's a reality that you have to face. Your customers really won't understand or know what you do behind the scenes for them unless you tell them. Now, number one, when should you tell them? Well, if you go above and beyond to make something happen for them or one of their patients, you probably want to share it. Let me give you an example of when this worked very well for me back in my medical selling days. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am a pretty humble guy. I don't brag. I don't talk about the things that I do or used to do for my customers. But there was a situation that I decided to let the doctor know that I really went above and beyond. I had a surgeon in my territory who wanted to use a brand new shoulder system that had only been released maybe 2 or 3 months earlier. We had one set that was being shuttled all over the distributor's territory, and we frequently had back orders. We had holes in the inventory. Well, this surgeon who I had this surgery scheduled with was using the shoulder for the first time. He was a high volume surgeon, and this case really needed to go well. And I found out at the last minute that one of the most common sizes in the shoulder set had been used that day that I'm setting this up. It was actually the day before the surgery. So the distributor's office says, "Mace, we're missing size 15. I say, "You got to be kidding me." And when I templated it out, it templated out to a 15. And I'm thinking, man, this is awful. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I said, see if there's one somewhere else in the state. Now, I'm over in the Palm Beach area. My office found another shoulder prosthesis over in Tampa. Here's the problem. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm in West Palm Beach. The implant is over in Tampa. There is a chance that maybe they could have put it on a bus and sent it over, and I would meet the bus at 7 a.m. The surgery was at 7:30 a.m. It was too tight. So what I did was I flew over to Tampa to pick up the stem. As some of you know, I'm a private pilot. I had access to an airplane. I flew over that night, picked up the stem about 8 o'clock, and flew back. Next day, we did the surgery. Guess what size the doctor used? You're right. He used a size 15, the size I picked up in Tampa. When the case was over, the doctor was really thrilled. He loved the system, and I shared with him. I said, "Doctor, I got to tell you, it was a little tight for me because as of yesterday, I thought you might have to cancel the case because there was a size missing from the set. Guess what size it was?" He said, "It's the size that I used, wasn't it?" I go, "Yeah." He said, "Well, how did you get the prosthesis?" I said, "Well, we found one in Tampa." I said, "I flew over there last night and was able to pick it up for you." I said, "Number one, it was a beautiful night for flying, so I had a good time." I said, "But I just wanted you to know that happened." And he said, "Well, thanks for doing that." Well, later on that day, when the patient woke up, the doctor really built this up, and he said, "Mr. Patient," I don't remember his name, "we went through great efforts to make your surgery a success. In fact, the representative from the company flew over in a private plane to Tampa last night to pick up the implant that is in your shoulder right now. That's what we do for you." Well, it turns out that this patient went around and told everybody about the effort that his doctor went through and the hospital went through and I went through, and it really became a great marketing ploy for the doctor. In other words, this particular doctor said, "We will go through to any lengths to make sure your surgery happens and is a success." And it was also the message that I imparted to the doctor as well. I'll do whatever I need to do to make your cases go well, to make your surgeries a success. Here's the thing. Throughout my entire career, and this was towards the end of my career, I did these things all the time. I might not have gotten in a plane and flown over to Tampa, but I'm sure many of you will meet up with a colleague late at night, or you get up super early in the morning and you'll drive a couple of hours to make something happen for one of your customers. You have to let them know. Because if you don't, if you just walk in with the product, you just walk in and it seems routine, that's how they're going to see it. They won't know unless you share it with them in some way. And here's why this is important. Healthcare providers like to do business with sales representatives that they know will go above and beyond to make their patients better, to do what needs to be done. So you have to find a by the way or a very humble way of letting them know what you do. Don't overplay it. And in fact, if it's something that should be done, if you say something like, well, I want you to know that I showed up in your office yesterday and I measured I templated out your surgeries to see what was going to fit. If that's expected, it's not going to garner any kind of gratitude for you. But when you do something above and beyond, you have to find a way to let the customer know. You have to toot your own horn. It might be a little uncomfortable. Find an easy way to do it, and you will discover that your customers will start to appreciate you for the things that you do that differentiate you from your competition. Thanks for spending some time with me on the Medical Sales Channel. I'm Mace, and I'll talk to you again soon.